That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour live on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sitsuti along with the Darkwing Brian Daly.
What is going on?
And the Broken One, Mr. Rob Povia.
Figlio di puttana. Roughly translated from Italian, it means son of a whore. It's what I say every time the Flyers aren't in the playoffs.
We only speak English here, Rob. Only English.
I was catching up on Masters of None for the next season, so that kind of came up.
I see.
Never heard of it.
Good show.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially here. We have arrived, and while we wish the Flyers were here, it's still exciting all the same. It is the playoffs. And today we begin our first of a few shows that we're going to have covering the playoffs, as the NHL always brings us so much fun and so much great moments in the first, second, third Stanley Cup final. Doesn't matter what round it is, there's always some priceless moments. And we've already started off, and Montreal just took the lead. Byron just... Yeah. And so there we have it, folks. Live reactions for you. And we start the show, and now Montreal is up 2-1 here with 7:16 left to go in the third period. And it's shorthanded, too, by the way. So, wow. Big chance and a big opportunity. And Montreal, they made Toronto pay for it. All right.
Wow. What a play by Paul Byron.
It was. Yeah, he just
Kids,
shakes.
that's why you never give up on a play.
Nope, absolutely not. He hustled down to that puck, survived the D-man interfering with him there, tripping him up, and he still got his hand on that puck and was able to just put that one right on by. All right, then. So, with that, we are brought to you by Body Check Wellness. You can use the promo code right down there that you see on the screen. A2D gets you 20% off anytime you wish to take a look at the products that they have, which is topicals, ointments, gummies. They are a product line that uses hemp. They also have THC-free products. And speaking of that, ladies and gentlemen, when Riley Cote is on with us, who created Body Check Wellness, you get 40% off when you use that A2D code for a THC-free box of products. $140 worth of savings there. So they're great products. Rob's used them, and they've helped him so very much. And it can help you guys too. And we definitely vouch for it here. All right. So, gentlemen, already we got some crazy stuff going on. Playoff hockey. Yeah, that is an understatement. Big time. Playoff hockey, guys. Boy, the excitement is everywhere right now. It's palpable.
Right before we went on the air, we saw a game-winning goal from Ryan Lundberg, Florida, OT winner. That's what you got to love about the playoffs. There's a different hero every night. Especially
coming from a guy who did nothing in the first two games but try and get under the Lightning player's skin. He's a pure energy player, and he'll get gritty if he needs to. And it was a set-up play for him, which resulted in not only just a breakaway, but the game-winning goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got Florida right back in the series.
True. And Jason Spezza just got called for tripping Shea Weber. He's going off to the box. So, boy, Toronto has just had a parade to the penalty box. Nylander got called a little bit earlier from when we were watching it. He got called for a delay of game. Apparently, that's happened 3 times tonight for Toronto. So, yeah, they definitely, although Brian did bring up a good point, though, before the show. It is only game 1, so you could shake this off.
They've had a few days off, so they're probably still going to be a little sloppy. Montreal's been battling battling hard. I believe going into the third period, had like 40 hits through the first two periods. So they're battling. They're playing physical. They're getting in on guys finishing checks. So they're forcing Toronto to do things with the puck that they don't necessarily want to do, which is a good way to really beat Toronto.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got Prism. What's up, Priz? Saying let's go. We got Pete chiming in saying, yo, fam. What's up, Pete? Utley is God, which is a great name right there. What's up, boys? Puck. Yeah. What's up, boys? Puck talk. Yeah, big time on that one. And Pete is agreeing to the poll. The poll question is the Boston-Washington series, the first three games going into overtime, best series so far in the first round. Agree or disagree? Gentlemen, what do you think? Would you agree to that or disagree to that?
Wait, what was the poll question?
Is Boston and Washington the best series so far in the first round since all first three games went to overtime?
No, it's been really, really good. I haven't watched enough of it to say that it's been the best series. To me, right now, the best series going on right now is Pittsburgh and New York. They have been knockout, drag-out fights since the initial puck drop in game one. It's been very back and forth. Nobody's really had momentum for more than a period. Anytime somebody goes up, somebody else comes in and ties it. It's been very back and forth. There's, like I said, nobody's able to hold momentum long enough in that game to really take a real lead in that game, in that series. So to me, that's been the best one. And blood's starting to boil over. They had a nice little melee earlier. I believe it was the second period tonight when it was 3-2. Sent 5 guys to the box each.
Gotta love it. Gotta love that playoff atmosphere. Doesn't matter what two teams are playing. You just gotta love seeing two teams wanting to beat the shit out of each other to try and get to the Stanley Cup. Hell, it's not even to get to the finals, just to get to the next round. Robbie, what about you, brother?
Well, Taylor Swift said it. You gotta love bad blood, and that's what you get a lot in these NHL playoffs. Yeah, I quoted Taylor Swift. I did, but it's true though.
Get that guy out of here. Get him out.
So I think I do kind of have to give a minor to Rob on that one. It's a 2-minute minor. You'll be out before you know it. But yeah.
What use am I if I am not comic relief? But it has not been comical for Pittsburgh Penguins and New York Islanders. There's a lot of bad blood going on in that series. There's a lot of bad blood in this Washington Bruins series too. I mean, they've been, facing off against each other in these playoffs quite a few times over the past few seasons. So, definitely things have spilled over, and you got to love the dramatics of overtime hockey. So for that point alone, I'll agree with the poll, but I do like what's going on in that Penguins Islander series. But three overtimes, Brian. It's hard to top that.
No, trust me, I get it. And one of those teams is going to be burnt out by the end of the second round. So,
yeah.
The only downfall to overtime every night.
Yeah, definitely tough. Especially one of them went to double overtime, which was the last one. But for me, I was thinking maybe Washington and Boston. That's why I put it into the poll question. Then I kept thinking about it more. Honestly, I'm going to go Florida and Tampa, only because the drama in that series is so heavy. Like, that is like, who would have thought that, two teams in Florida would have that much, building up for a hockey series. But there you go. Both the teams in Florida, I'll tell you, they had one hell of a game tonight. That's for sure. And they had 2 games beforehand. It went back and forth. It was swinging. You really didn't know who was walking out with that victory. And ultimately, Tampa walked out with 2. Florida walks out with 1 tonight. Florida needed that win badly, too. Who knows what Game 4 is going to hold for us, but that's a very exciting series.
That's been good. I thought Game 2 was a little underwhelming based off of what Game 1 was. You expected to see a little bit more bad blood, some more scrums and stuff. Things kind of settled down a little bit. Even settled down a little bit tonight. I think Game 4 is going to be there's going to be a little more veracity in that one, considering how Florida came back in this one. I mean, let's be real. Tampa Bay put up 5 goals in the second period.
They did.
5 goals and wound up losing.
And the ironic thing is, if you guys were listening to the broadcast, Kenny Albert said it. There's only 2 other teams in history that have scored 5 goals in a playoff game in 1 period and went on to lose. And sure enough, after he says that, Tampa loses and becomes the 3rd team to do that in history. Gotta love it. Gotta love it when an announcer jinxes a team.
I mean, me and Prez were talking. We've actually been talking about each game every night. Florida needs to win the series. They need to upset Tampa.
They do.
We see the powerhouse that they are, and a lot of people are butthurt about how they're 17 mil or something like that over the cap. Over the cap. And I don't understand why people are so butthurt about it. They're following the rules. There's no salary cap in playoff hockey. So
That's true.
I don't know what you're complaining about. Maybe figure the game
true.
out a little bit better. But we've seen Tampa Bay win it last year, and we see how loaded they are. And I would just like to see a team just come in and upset them.
That's true. I wonder if there's going to be a rule implemented now because of that, where it's like, no, now the salary cap is applied to the playoffs too, simply because of what happened.
No, it's not going to. It shouldn't. Because like I said, they're following the league rules.
They are. It's just we've seen the league do that, where they'll do a knee-jerk reaction, to something like that happening, and we've seen it happen in the past. I'm wondering if they'll do it now.
No,
I'm not saying they should, but
I don't think they
anyway. But saying playoffs been great so far as usual, which is true.
There hasn't been a dull series so far.
Yeah. Chris going woo. I don't know if that was because of Montreal.
The great thing, I think that's, and this goes back to the poll question from last week. Something along the lines of the playoff setup is awesome. As of right now, I went from, I think I was disagree last week and I'm changing it to agree. Just because of how the season was set up and you're playing these teams over and over again, I wasn't sure how they were really going to work. When I tell you hasn't been a dull series, there hasn't been a dull series. Like, all these series have been really, really good, entertaining, high scoring, physical. So I think this playoff setup has worked out pretty well so far for the league. And I think I know it's going to go back to normal next year, but I think it could make for a very, really, really entertaining tournament. Oh, good. Phillies lost again.
Bobby, you see this? I mean, this series is historic. When was the last time we saw Toronto and Montreal face off in the playoffs? Was it the 70s?
It's been a while.
I want to say 79, but someone correct me out there.
You might be right in the 70s. I'm trying to think if they met each other in the early 2000s at all, when Toronto moved back to the East.
Possibly.
But I don't think so, though, because I think Montreal was very much a very mediocre, team at that time. Toronto was very good. So I don't know. The chances of those two teams meeting up at that time were kind of rare. You saw more. Yeah, what were you going to say, Rob?
No, you were talking.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Toronto, usually what you would saw them in the early 2000s, you usually saw them face Ottawa, because that was back when the Battle of Ontario was really big during that time period. Let's see here. Will, on your Taylor Swift comment there, Rob.
Come on. Tell me that video. Come on, there's so many hotties in that video. Come on now. No, speaking of hot action, though, with this series starting off tonight, what was it, in the first period? Tavares goes down, takes a knee to the head. I mean, it wasn't an intended hit. It was unfortunate, but was it Corey Perry was diving there?
Yeah.
But I mean, talk about setting a tone like right off the get-go. I mean, intentional or not.
Yeah, it definitely set a tone on that one. We got Don chiming in. What's up, Don?
You could definitely sense that it shook the team up a little bit in the first. They weren't skating as well. Second period, they came out and had a stronger 20 minutes. I think they kind of took a regress here. think they're pressing a little too much here in the third. But second period, they kind of settled down a little bit more. Emotions kind of more whoosah. But losing Tavares is going to be huge. And it's going to be a huge question of now who's going to step up for Toronto in the absence of JT.
Yeah, right.
Wow, that was close. Toronto nearly tied it up.
I mean, me and Priz were talking in our group with Don Don, who apparently doesn't like to talk to us, but whatever, Don Don. I'll see how it is.
All right.
He, Toronto's looking better now, bringing in a guy like Joe Thornton and going out and getting a guy like Marcus Foligno, because now you got two guys who can step up in that leader role that is going to be absent for X amount of time, because we don't know how long Tavares is going to be out, if he even misses the next game. But who's going to step up? These moves are starting to look a lot better now.
Well, yeah, because you get that leadership aspect, and that's very important. But man, Toronto, they had some good opportunities there because they had that late power play. Nothing though going in. Montreal's been holding strong, which they can do that. When you have Carey Price, he makes it seem easy. It's not, but he makes it seem easy.
Yeah, I mean, he's been tracking the puck really well all night, or at least from what I've seen. And he's putting himself in really good positions, not even just for the initial shot, but to pick up the rebound. Like, there was a perfect example right there.
Yeah.
He put himself in good position to pick up not just the initial shot, but the rebound as well. So, if he can keep that up and this team stays physical and forces the play for Toronto, maybe I'm wrong about this being a 5-game series.
Maybe, possibly. I mean, Montreal, they made 2 series happen last year, and the only reason why the Flyers even beat Montreal last year is pretty much because of Carter Hart. So, Jermaine Floss saying Penguins could win the Cup. The Penguins look good right now in that series. I mean, the Islanders are fighting them hard, but the Penguins do look good, which sucks, but unfortunately, that's the Penguins for you. When you got Sidney Crosby and you got Jeff Carter and Evgeny Malkin and John Marino, John Marino. God damn it, Dan Marino. I'm surprised no one's made that mistake a lot more with him. But anyway,
laces in, Dan. Laces in.
But yeah, Marino's done good. Rust has done well, and he gets underrated sometimes. Rust, with how good of a player he is. That's a tough team. It's a tough team to go up against, just because we've been talking about how maybe they're slowly starting to go on the decline. Doesn't mean that they still can't be a threat by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, let's see. Will saying, what's up? And Frank saying, hey, yo, sorry to bother you at work. This has been a very intense opening round, and it absolutely has. And I do believe Montreal has they're about to. There's about 2.9 left to go in the third. So they're about to finish this one up. So it looks like Montreal's going to win the first game of the series here. And both teams favored in the Canadian series lose the first game in the series because Edmonton lost yesterday 4-1 to Winnipeg. So, and big win for Winnipeg because apparently during that season, Winnipeg struggled against Edmonton. So, he put that in game 1.
Yeah, I think, that series could still go one of two ways. Montreal catching the big win. Last I saw in the Vegas game, Minnesota was up 2-0. I'll have to I'll have to wait for the commercial to come back. But I know Ryan Hartman has one of the goals for Minnesota.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
He's. You see, here's what I don't understand about the Flyers. You had a really good, gritty, blue collar guy in Ryan Hartman. Fans seem to like him. You let him walk. I still don't get why.
Well,
I don't get why. Ryan Hartman's a blue-collar player.
It was the same thing with Pitlick. We let him walk too. Pitlick, I don't know if they offered him a contract, but he wound up signing with Phoenix. So there you go. Rob, what were you going to say about Hartman there?
I didn't. With Hartman, I mean, it's hard to really diagnose what you got, and I don't think they really realized what they had in Ryan Hartman when he was wearing the orange and black. And to make the comparison with Pitlick, bottom 6 guys, they feel like, all right, well, we're expendable. We can let them walk to either A, bring in that new talent, or B, allow for a spot for one of your young pups to come up. And I think it was more the latter with the Philadelphia Flyers. But it goes to show there's a place on a team for players like this, and they're quite essential and needed, especially in a tough playoff series.
No, absolutely. And that's kind of like where my point's going, Rob. So, I get you're trying to bring up. I mean, he's still relatively young. I think he's only like 26. So he's still on that younger side. It's not like he's one of the older aging players like say Wayne Simmons, who's a similar type of player, plays a gritty form of the game. But I feel like he's got more offensive production, more offensive upside than a lot of these other gritty players that are out in the league right now. Just to let him go. And you could have gotten him relatively cheap too. And he signed a 3-year extension. I think he's only getting and I'll look it up. I think he's only getting maybe 2.5 a year over the next 3 years.
Maybe.
I will verify that.
And right now it is still 2-0 Minnesota in the end of the first period. And
Babcock's?
Yeah, Babcock's doing the analysis. Yeah, apparently. Well,
this when?
Apparently this year. I'll never remember seeing that.
What'd you say, Brian? Flyers gave up on a talent too early? Nah, the hell you say.
Yeah, why would they ever do that?
Meanwhile, Columbus was waving
Never
at us
happened.
Meanwhile,
Not
Columbus was waving at us while Bobrovsky was winning Vezina trophies with them.
So Ryan Hartman is exactly 26 years old, so I was close on that. And he's actually okay. So he's going to go into his 3-year extension after this year, and his cap hit. Wait, this isn't my usual. Where the hell am I? Spot tracks? That's not what I want.
Get it together, Daly.
Hello, Eileen.
Listen, I'm half asleep doing this, so.
Well, Eileen's here, so hello, Eileen. And she's also saying, how are the Canes doing? They're doing well. They're up 2-0 in their series against Nashville. Nashville, though, has shown fight, so I got to give them credit. Nashville hasn't exactly looked terrible in the series. It's just, you can tell. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens when things shift into the Bridgestone Arena where the Catfish people are, so we'll see how that goes. But,
So, all right, so Hartman has 3 years left on his contract. He's actually getting a pay decrease. He's going from 1.9 cap hit to a 1.7. So base salary is actually going to go up in 2022, 23, 23, 24 from 1.1 to 2 mil. So he will get a little bit of a pay increase. His cap hit is just going to go down a little bit. So, they were smart to hold on to Hartman. So good for them.
Absolutely. And then let's see what else we got here. Eileen's saying, fuck the Pens. Excuse my language. You don't have to excuse that kind of language here. We actually approve of that kind of language here on a2dradio.com, especially here in the Hockey Happy Hour. And yes, fuck the Pens. Yeah, you got a good gritty win, but still fuck you. All the same. Let's see, Timothy Hickethier, or would that be Hickethier? Are we doing the French pronunciation? I'm not sure. Anyway, hey guys, wish the Flyers were in the playoffs. Yeah, we do too. But hey, you know what? They'll be back in it next year. Usually that's what happens. Let's see.
Gilio di Puttana.
Yeah. Wizards first round, so we're talking on the NBA playoffs there. They're saying go Sixers. And yeah, go Sixers. Why not?
Yeah,
go for Philly.
No, thank goodness for the Sixers, man. That's filling the playoff need, a really good, exciting team that can make a serious run at the finals, if not taking it all down. So, and hey, they got the mojo to themselves. I mean, yes, you have the Phillies going on, but they're in early season. I think the Sixers playoffs have to trump for you 4x4 guys. Like you would take a Sixers win over a Phillies win any day right now, right?
Right now, absolutely. And that's because the Phillies have been so inconsistent. Like you lose tonight, like you can't beat a team like Miami, but you can go out and beat the Braves.
Braves they've been scuffling. I mean, you talk about a 3-game series that they had against the Mets, and the Mets have 14 guys on the IL right now. Had virtually 2 bullpen games in that series because Walker got knocked out in the 3rd inning, and then they had a planned bullpen day the next day, and Mets won both of those, and the Braves barely salvaged that 3rd game with a walk-off from Acuna in a game that they lost the lead in or whatnot. That bullpen, I think their bullpen is lower brow than the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. Not in talent, but in performance so far. But this is a hockey show, so I digress.
No, I agree. I was just going to say Braves pitching has been the downfall of that team right now. But
yeah,
like you said, this is hockey. Let's talk playoffs.
True. But Benny's Nation agrees on this thing. We can never beat the Marlins. They own us.
In the next couple of years, we can't.
And Tim's saying Braves are bums. So
one thing me and Rob can agree on.
Absolutely, and the prior point you made too. The Marlins have a pesky way of beating their National League East rivals.
Yep, I mean they got a solid young rotation and a decent bullpen.
Yeah, I love that kid.
The lineup is starting to hit now too.
That guy Trevor Rogers, man, phenomenal.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Oh, there's that melee I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that good old melee. I think that started primarily because Crosby's gripping up somebody. There you go, Crosby. You finally grew a set. Anyway.
Palmieri, listen, this is why you go out and you get a guy like a Kyle Palmieri at the deadline. Because not only is he going to bring experience to your lineup, he's a good goal scorer and he plays with energy.
True.
He's not going to be a guy who's just going to sit back and take shit. He's going to go out there, and if you're going to start shit, he's not going to walk away from you. He's not a fighter, but he's not going to back down.
It's just amazing to see how Carter, age does not affect him whatsoever. He scored that nice goal tonight, and just flipped it right over. Was it Sorokin in that tonight, or was it?
No, it was Varlamov.
It was Varlamov? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was a weird goal. That deflected in. Must have. Oh, that Tanev batted it right out of the air. Wow.
Yeah,
nice.
He took a gnarly hit in game 2. It was nice to see him get up. He was slow to get up, but he got back up and started chirping at Matt Martin. So that was always good to see.
That's crazy to think about right there. Jeff Carter had 2 goals. Cal Clutterbuck had 2 goals tonight. 18-7 in series when leading by 2-1. Well, that is not a good omen for the New York Islanders there. However, this is an Islanders that likes to take expectations and wipe their asses with it. But, let's see here. Prism saying Nashville didn't do enough at the deadline. Instead of getting a new piece to help build, they got some duct tape to kind of weakly reinforce them. I could agree to that.
That's accurate. That's accurate.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah. And
they didn't, because they saw themselves starting to get healthy again, and they started to put some games together. Tim, have a good night, brother.
Yep.
And they're like, all right, we're stringing together some wins. Maybe we can do this. And they are, and it sucks because they're in a tough situation where I shouldn't even say tough situation. They're just in a tough division. Ain't happening, Dave. Ain't happening. So don't even worry about it.
What, you wouldn't want Tom Wilson?
Hell no. Well, if he can keep himself under control, absolutely, I would take him. He's a 30-goal scorer, but he's a ticking time bomb. But it ain't happening anyway. Capitals have him locked up on. I think he's got a no movement clause too. So he's not going anywhere. So don't even entertain the idea.
Benny's Nation saying Nashville will be dealing this offseason, especially their D. If they're smart, they would still be dealing at the offseason. Absolutely. Yeah,
for sure. And that's the reason why they didn't deal the guys that they were rumored to be dealing, like Matthias Ekholm and Ryan Ellis and all those guys. It's because they started to put some of these wins together and they started to climb up their standings. So why are you going to sell when you're putting yourself in position to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, you could have one good run. You could have one good run this year. Maybe it takes you even to a cup, and then you sell off the pieces if that's going to be the plan in the offseason anyhow.
Exactly.
True. And let's see. Prism saying, I don't see the Capitals moving any of their better players, David. I think that they want to keep expanding their window for a championship as long as they have Ovi.
And especially one of the younger guys like Tom Wilson is. Tom Wilson's only 25, 26. So
Yeah.
he's not going anywhere. He's a cornerstone of that franchise.
And a psychopath.
And a psychopath. Yep.
I'm sorry. Do you guys
Not that
see
that's a bad thing. Not that that's a bad thing in hockey. Come on.
Are you guys seeing Brandon Tano's picture at the bottom of your screen? He looks like he's scared shitless.
Yeah, it is.
With this photo getting taken.
Oh, he's all good.
Sorry, that's just funny as hell.
No, that's a legit story behind that picture. Like apparently, they said he said he saw a ghost when he was taking that picture or something along those lines. I think that's what the story was behind the picture.
What?
He saw something that freaked him out.
All right, then. Congrats on who the photographer was. You took the picture at the perfect fucking time. So get that guy a raise. Anyway, so let's talk about, while we got the intermission going on from the Wild and the Knights game 3 here, let's talk about the other matchups that are not going on and some of them that did tonight. And started off, let's talk about that Boston-Washington matchup, since that was on the poll question. I got to say this. Oh, one quick production note, by the way. The scoreboard that NBC is using is actually pretty badass. I don't know why they have never used that one before. I don't know. Just that's actually a pretty cool-looking scoreboard. Just one.
Yeah, they usually upgrade it come playoff time.
Yeah, it's a shame that this is last year, so we won't be seeing that one ever again. But, oh well. Anyway.
Get your ESPN Plus, people.
Yeah. So, Bruins Caps.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I'm not even going to be able to have NHL TV next year.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to get rid of that myself and get the ESPN Plus.
Don't you have Disney Plus already?
Huh?
Don't you have Disney Plus?
I do. Well,
Yeah,
my brother does.
I think you get access to ESPN Plus. I thought it was all combined as a package.
It is
a bundle.
Ooh,
yeah, I think you're.
okay,
I think you're good. Yeah.
All right then.
All right.
Nice.
I get my NHL, and my brother pays for it.
Show's over at Brian's house from now on. Let's go.
Oh, Benny's Nation is just in time for them to lose their rights. Yep. But anyway, so
pretty much.
Bruins and Caps, first 3 games, all going to overtime. What a wow! I mean, just what is crazy there? Oh, and Florida got their first OT win since 1996. Hey, take a quick guess on who that team was that they got that OT win on in 1996. Kenny Albert told you if you were listening to the broadcast. Go ahead, I'll let that sink in, and I'll give you the answer later if nobody knows. But anyway,
I don't know.
I unfortunately did. But anyway,
Going by unfortunate, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's the Flyers.
Wow, it's like I gave it away. Anyway, yeah, it was. Yeah, Hexy got that. Hexy got scored on that night. BM Breezebook, outdueled him. Oh, yeah, Benny's, you are right. It was the Fly guys. Oh, God. That's a series that is that's haunting. It's like, damn, that was a year the Flyers could have done some damage because they were number 1 overall that year. Anyway, so moving on. So first 3 games in overtime. The first game, you get a big goal from Dowd, and that one winds up being the sort of the tone setter, basically. Very heavy hitting series, but I mean, Brian, you said it, and it definitely did not disappoint. A lot of big hits, a lot of nasty, rough stuff going on. And it's ironic that the Caps and the Bruins are facing off this year because it's the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, and I just realized that because it's on right now. How ironic!
This is probably one of my favorite commercials, though, I will admit. Especially when he's like, what'd you say? Little help, please.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really mad right now. You can't get
really,
to the point.
What's he say? I'm really frustrated right now.
Yeah. I may not like the fact that Pasternak is a Bruin, but he has got a great personality. But anyway.
He really does, especially the Dunkin' Donut commercials where he's skating up to the Dunkin' Donuts girl.
Yes.
She gives him the coffee, and she says something to him. She's like, "You hurt Pasta's feelings."
Yeah, that was great. What was the other one? The first one? It's like, wow, she knows your order? It's like, yeah, I'm pretty much a regular in here. He says,
I even like those bubble hockey ones too.
Yeah, the bubble
yeah,
hockey ones are great.
Yeah. What did she say, Maddie?
In the original commercial, he says like, "Hey ref, check your voicemail. You missed some calls." It was like, yes, that's great. Oh, you gotta love it. Anyway,
I love Pasternak. He's such a fun. He just seems like he's a fun guy.
yeah, it does. He's probably really great in that locker room. But so now we go to the next two games, and speaking of comedy of errors, oh my God. Washington fucks up twice, and they lose twice in overtime because of it. So the fuck up happens in the first time because they got confused on defensive assignments. So they left Craig Anderson on the other side with a wide open net, just waiting for Brad Marchand to take a shot. Cum Fungus takes the shot, he scores. And then, sure enough, everybody's wondering how, 39 seconds in, how the fuck this happened. Sure enough, you see two defensemen just all tangled up right there, right in front of Anderson. It's like, oh, that's how. So great job, Washington. Good job on your defensive assignments there. Secondly, then the next night, Samsonov, in his first playoff game, he decides to leave the puck behind his net, goes around, leaves it for the D-man. D-man totally gets outworked by Smith. Smith rolls around and just dumps it right through his 5-hole because Samsonov does not realize that the puck has been turned over to the Boston Bruins at that moment, and they get another overtime win in double OT. I hate to say this, but that was a Carter Hart puck handling mistake right there. That Samsonov.
Oh, you cannot. Nope, I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. You do not. I cannot put any blame on that on Samsonov. That's on Justin Schultz for not hustling out to that puck because he got flat out beat.
He takes that. He's got to take blame too. Yeah, he absolutely has to take blame on that one. Yeah. I give
him more of the blame than Samsonov. Samsonov did a good job of playing the puck, settling it. Justin Smith just got flat out beat because he was tired. And he just got flat out beat to the puck.
Yeah. Well, I believe that was Samsonov's first game back from an injury, if I stand correct. Was it not? Because Anderson...
I don't know if he was injured, but it was definitely I know it was his first playoff game.
Yeah, so it definitely, I think that definitely had something to do with it. I think exhaustion kicked in on it. It kicked on Craig Anderson too, who hadn't played in a playoff game in a while. So, but he got an OT win. So
I get it. Yeah. I get it. You know, fatigue is going to set in, but when you know you got a guy on you, and you're in double overtime, I don't care how tired you are. You got to hustle to that puck, and Justin Smith or Justin Schultz did not do that. And it cost him a game. If I'm Ovi and he's been said he was talking to Samsonov after the game, I would have been yelling at Justin Schultz for that instead of Samsonov.
It's definitely one of those things where you see two fuck ups in a row, and both times it's cost Washington games in the series. It's like they want to fail. You know, it's like, boy, guys, it's like you want to give Boston this series. You know, who knows what would have happened if, you know, Schultz had gotten to that puck in time and, you know, if Dylan had not fucked up his defensive assignment. But, you know, it's like still, you shouldn't hand the opponent you're facing games in the playoffs. Like, what the hell are you doing? But anyway.
No, that's exactly what it is. You're giving away games. And I think that's why Ovi was pissed at the end of Game 3. And he had every right to be. But I'm not going to sit there and put the blame on Samsonov like a lot of people are. You got to get, like Benny said, Justin Schultz, he hasn't been good the entire series, and Dylan takes himself out of place looking for a big hit.
It's true. Dylan has been doing that.
And Dylan, like, that's Dylan's play. That's always been his play going back to San Jose. But it's the playoffs. You got to be a little smarter. Boston is not a team where you can afford to maybe take a defenseman out of the play just to make a hit. If you take yourself out of a play and you mess up, they're going to make you pay for it. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It just had a big save from Fleury there with big defensive breakdown big time from the Golden Knights. And Fleury came up big. Fiala was coming in all alone on Fleury, but
Luckily, a good back check from White Cloud, it looked like, got there in time.
Yeah, I was going to say he got the stick in there. I think he might even deflected that puck before it got on net.
I need Vegas to get the Stanley Cup. I get $100 if they get the Stanley Cup final.
If it makes you feel better, Brian, I'm absolutely rooting for Vegas on that too. That's mostly just because I picked Vegas to win the cup and I don't want to be wrong.
Oh, come on, Rob. I get $100. I win $100 if I get this, and if the Canes win the Stanley Cup final, I get $375.
Oh, there you go. Brian's a high roller.
I tell you what, if my boy Krill makes it past the Vegas Golden Knights, I'll give you $200. How about that?
Deal. Done.
You rooting for the Wild now?
I accept Venmos.
Working hard, trying to collect on Venmo. I got you.
Hey, man. I'll see what I can get right now.
By the way, if you want to send Brian money on his Venmo, Brian, feel free to put that into the chat.
No. I'm good.
Oh, so let's see here. Then Prism was chiming in saying, I'd offer Cum Fungus a lifetime supply of tampons due to a Vagisil commercial. Oh, another thing I want to bring up, too. Is it just me, or was Eddie Olczyk rooting for the Boston Bruins in that previous game? Because, oh my God, every 5 seconds he was trying to find a penalty for the Bruins. Like, the freaking hip check, which is legal. It's been legal since the dawn of fucking time in hockey. And he was trying to say, oh, well, that's a penalty if the ref sees it. Like, no, it's fucking not, Olczyk. You played hockey at the NHL level, you dumbass. A hip check is legal. And then when Marchand did it to the same guy that got it done to him on, he said, I was like, oh, well, yeah, he was just trying to give him a bit of a board sandwich there. I'm like, so you're not going to get mad about it? Shut the fucking
It all depends. It all depends on where the hip makes contact. If the hip makes contact below the hip in the knee area, it is a penalty.
Right.
And if that's where the initial contact was, he's got a point. But it all depends on the initial point of contact.
I don't think it did, honestly. But you know, I don't know. That's just it was weird because it was funny too because it was like him and Bush were going back and forth too during the broadcast where he was saying, "Oh, it looked like there was a bit of a teeny tiny hook that was put on Pasternak before he took a very scary spill into the boards." And Olczyk was saying, "Oh, that hook could have been called there. Don't you think, Bush?" Bush did not respond. And then Brad Marchand, Cum Fungus, does the good helicopter swing with his stick and nails Dylan right in the back of his freaking thigh, and he goes down in a heap after the play, when the whistle's been blown. Boucher responds, "Oh, it looks like that Boston got away with something there, Olczyk." So it's like, oh my God, these two are actually fighting back and forth on the air. It's great.
Bush has that personality.
You gotta love that. That's why you gotta love Bush, man. Oh, I gotta love Bush.
Listen, like that. I like that because it makes not only watching the games entertaining enough, just with how the playoffs have been, but when you got your commentators going back and forth, taking little shots at each other, it makes for a good time.
That shit started at Lake Tahoe. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That's when it first went down because Eddie was going at him a little bit. And, some say Eddie Olczyk is a homer broadcaster. And I say, no, he's not. And he's never placed a horse bet in his life either.
Oh, that's
For those of you who don't understand that, you're better off.
That is funny. Oh. Let's see here. So, what we got here?
Dave. You just said you wanted Carolina to win the Stanley Cup. Now you want Minnesota to win?
That's right.
Pick one. Pick one and stick with it. Come on, man. We've taught you better.
Prism was saying that I almost went to the box but I had a good recovery. For what? That I would like to know that one, ref. Not sure about what that call was.
He's talking about a box of hockey cards you bought for $150. You missed the initial. He said, I just wasted $150 on Hobby Box of Hockey cards. Thankfully, I made a trade and salvaged my day. That's the second part of it.
Oh, okay, then that's probably what it is. All right, never mind. Anyway, so let's see here. All right, Benny's Nation saying someone has to be a dick now that Milbury's gone. Yes, good point. Very, very good point. Very good point.
Torch. I love it.
He'll get
Which
them
is
like
a shame because I like Eddie O. I didn't like Milbury.
no one liked Milbury. I don't think there was a single person who liked Milbury.
This is going to probably be a terrible thing to say, but I don't even think his wife likes him.
Oh, that's great. Oh, okay. All right, I see what he was going through. He said, because I didn't say cum fungus. I was just saying his name once, so that way people knew who we were referencing, just in case someone's new to the show. That's the only reason why I did that. Now he's just cum fungus for the rest of the show. But anyway.
Otherwise, you might have somebody like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
Yeah, it's like who is this hockey player called cum fungus? And then they'll turn that in the search bar and then turn the safe search off, and then you'll get something else come up on your screen. Anyway,
it is I, Brad Marchand, aka cum fungus.
It's all right, David. Just don't let it happen again, bud.
Brian was almost about to send David to the box on that one.
If that's the case,
come on
David,
in, the water's warm.
If that's the case, Roscoe's been in the box since I met him. Since the first time he's been on the show.
Yeah. Roscoe was also saying Milbury looks like Bobby Heenan face.
A little bit. I can see it, actually.
Although I do feel like I should throw him in the box for besmirching the great name of the late, great Bobby Heenan with comparing him to Mike Milbury, but I'll let that slide.
Well,
anyway.
He said he looked like him, that's all.
I know. It's just,
if you think about it, you can see it.
He's not wrong.
He's
not wrong. He's not wrong. I'm not going to say that. Yeah, definitely. But anyway, so right now, still 2-0 here in the second period between Minnesota and Vegas. That's right. We're doing a live reaction right now. I know it's hard to believe, but and it's 11 shots to 8 right now in favor of the Minnesota Wild. And you know what? We talked about how the Wild have been able to frustrate the Golden Knights in the regular season. That has definitely carried over here into the playoffs. I don't think the Knights have had it easy in this run at all. The Wild have really done a great job of frustrating them.
I mean, the Wild spending a lot of time in the Vegas zone, especially in the second period early on here. Knights aren't getting many opportunities on the offensive side, and as I say that, boom, pretty much. It's just, yeah, Matty, you're spot on, man. Like the frustrations and the way that Minnesota's played Vegas all season long, it's carried into the playoffs. I was expecting Vegas to kind of step up, and they haven't really yet. I mean, they had a really good first game against Minnesota, and Minnesota kind of took over in game 2 and hasn't given up yet.
Not really. Yeah, and they've been getting some opportunities. We saw that opportunity with Fiala not too long ago. Man, that was a nasty hit. Who put that hit down? Jeez. Anyway, but yeah, Fiala had that great opportunity a few moments ago, and Fleury had to make a great save. I mean, well, White Cloud had that good back check, but then there was another opportunity coming off the backboard, and then they had a wide open man, took a shot. Fleury had to come up big on that one. So it's not been easy. And on the side note too, Fleury's golden pads are fucking awesome. So is Lanaire's pads. They're awesome too. Both Golden Knights goaltenders win the pads game right now. It's on point.
And Fleury's been, throwing out the pads with reckless abandon, looking like his early days for Pittsburgh. I mean, he's really been a saving grace for this Vegas team, making dynamite save after dynamite save in this series.
Yeah, this series could be incredibly lopsided if it wasn't for him.
Right.
Yeah. I could definitely agree on that. And Prism is saying that he's hitched himself onto the Florida Panthers fan car for this playoffs.
Him and Ross. He's taking Roscoe with him.
Ah, there you go. Road trip. Oh, and they score! The Golden Knights have finally gotten on the board here, and it is Stone, the captain, coming through with a big one right there.
Yeah, he needs to step up. I mean, there still needs to be quite a few guys, but I mean that was great puck movement on Vegas's part to find Stone in the slot, and that was a huge goal. That was a huge goal for Vegas.
Great shot too. Great setup here as well.
Brodeen may have. I think Brodeen screened Cam Talbot.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, he picked up the puck late for sure. I mean, not to discredit Stone's shot there. I mean, you're the captain. You're right there in the circle all alone. You got to score that goal in the playoffs, and he did.
That's why he's making the big money that he's making.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, big opportunity there.
Talbot had to make a desperate save there. Oh boy! Oh man, this is when Vegas gets scary because now they got some blood. They smell the blood in the water. They're going on it now.
Young and experienced wild team here, and I mean, you can't feel too secure. I mean, Cam Talbot has had a really good season. Tripping.
Yep. What are you going to say, Rob?
Oh, just he's had a really good season. Not to take anything away from him, but it's a new season, and Talbot's a question mark. You know what I mean? And but right there, he proved he answered the call of duty on that save.
Great blocker save. This is a huge opportunity for Vegas to get back in this game completely, and it's something. Well, for me, because I have money on them, they need to take an opportunity on this power play. You clearly buzzing after that. Jonas Brodin tripping over the blue line and pretty much creating that situation for Vegas could be huge. I mean, you had two golden scoring opportunities there for Vegas, and now you have an opportunity on the power play. So take advantage. Pin teams down in their own zone. One of two things is going to happen, and I learned this from the EA games. You're either going to get scored on, or you're going to wind up taking a penalty. And because that Vegas was buzzing at that point, they wound up taking a penalty instead of giving up a goal. So perfect for them.
Yeah, very, very true. And Benny's Nation, he had said, where's Pietrangelo been? And then he goes on to say Brodin lost his man. And then Prism responded with, well, that was your Pietrangelo question on that one.
Yep.
And then Benny's responded with Prism, yeah, perfect timing. So yeah, very much perfect time. So Benny's needs to call out more people. So Benny's, when the Flyers start playing again, you need to call out any motherfucker that is not picking up his slack, and then he'll just start scoring goals or playing great defensively. But anyway.
Also, Roscoe, thanks for the heads up. Apparently Adam Henrique has been named team captain of Team Canada.
All right then.
In the upcoming tournament.
All right, then, and that is set to get started, actually. Prelims are, pre-tournament matches are about to get started over in Latvia, I believe, is where the World Championship is being held this year, so that should be interesting. A lot of players, though, did refuse. There were a lot of NHLers asked, but they were just exhausted from the season, so they refused to go to either Team Canada or to Team USA. One of the notable names, Adam Fox and Keandre Miller, two New York Rangers, asked to be on Team USA. They both refused. There was a few others for Team Canada as well. But
that organization is a mess. I really don't understand the New York Rangers right now, and I think I'm okay with that.
Well, it's understandable. Two young players that played a shit ton of hockey, played a lot more minutes, specifically Keandre Miller, that I think the Rangers had banked on going into the season. I don't think it's a big surprise that they're sitting out.
No, not at all, especially with everything going on in the organization right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot to take in, New team president, new GM.
I was going to say, speaking of president, did you hear the news today about John Davidson going back to Columbus?
Mm-hmm. I saw that. I think it's a good move for Columbus. I mean, I feel like they had a lot of success with him there, and he built a pretty good team around them. So, could be a good thing.
They've got the odds up here for the winnings. Boston's at a -400, Washington plus 310. Carolina's at a -1667. Colorado.
I'd say that's a sure thing.
I don't know, but they got these up. Colorado. Wait a minute. Winning the series. Colorado is a minus. How is Colorado a minus?
That's big in their favor. That's what that is. The minus in front is in their favor, and the bigger the number is, the more in their favor it is.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm not really much of a gambler, as you can tell, but that's okay. Anyway, that's what we got Brian here for.
I think it's like the minus 3, the 33, 34 is like if you put up like $33, you win 34, something along those lines. Not 100% sure. Somewhere in that, something along those lines.
Yeah. Benny's Nation saying maybe Davison brings Quinn with him for the New York Rangers there.
Possibly. I mean, Quinn, I'll be honest with you, Quinn didn't do a terrible job with the Rangers, which is why I was so surprised when he was fired.
Yeah.
There's a shot in, and that one didn't get through. And right now, a little bit of passion catch. Marchessault's got it, and that one didn't get through. Good, strong defensive play here from the Wild on this kill so far. This is these are all, any power play is always intense in the playoff. Oh, big chance!
Almost. Chipped wide.
Yeah, great setup though. Marchessault got that initial shot, and then boy, they almost made him pay for it.
It's been a good power play for Vegas so far. All kinds of pressure, tiring out the penalty killers.
Yeah, so far, but yeah, and it seems like it could pay off here, but they got 26 seconds left though, so they gotta keep the pressure on. They gotta get it going real big here.
Well, even if it goes past the power play, if they can stay pinned in their zone, you got 4 tired players and 1.
That's true.
All right, and help me out with that one. Yeah, okay. So I'm still trying to figure all that part out. So thanks, Ant. Appreciate that, bro.
Well, we got a little bit extra after that. Talbot froze the play. A little bit of pushing and shoving there into the boards. But, so there's our man there. And what's up, Ant, by the way?
No, I don't want to be famous.
Gotta love the troll posts. But anyway,
I don't even call that a troll post. That's an ad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right there.
So let's see here.
Vegas has really turned it up here in the second period.
They had 17 shots in the second period. Whew, and a lot of that was just recent. But that just shows you how scary the offense is of the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, I mean, you can't sleep on them. I mean, you got a good young, like Rob was saying, it's a good young team in New York or in Minnesota. I don't know why I almost said New York. I think Cam Talbot, as well as he's played this season, could be the reason why they win or lose this series. I like the offense in Minnesota. I like the defense. I haven't been sold on Cam Talbot since he left New York. One good year in Edmonton. And he's had a solid year this year, so I'll give him that. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, he played solidly for Philly, and then he left. Surprisingly was not brought back to be a mentor to Carter Hart, considering that they had a personal relationship beforehand. But, he surfaces here in Minnesota, and he hasn't disappointed.
David, actually, Anaheim has a 12.1% chance to win the draft lottery, so hopefully Anaheim gets the number 1 overall pick. Get Owen Power.
Other than the Flyers, what were they at, 1.8?
Something along those lines, yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's always a chance, man. Even if you move up from 13? Even if you move up into the top 10. I'm sure there's going to be some really good talent in the top 10 this year. So,
Well, since we're so big on trading, why don't we just trade whoever gets that number 1 overall pick? It's like, here, you get Van Riemsdyk, you get Coots, you get all of these guys. We just want Owen Power. Let's see here.
Yeah, well, you got to trade value to get value. You trading JVR, you're not really trading value to get value there.
I did throw Coots
trading.
in, though.
You're trading washed up players to get value.
Hey, I mean, if it works, if the organization's dumb enough to take the trade, then you do it, you know? I mean, hey, didn't have to give anything up, and we got something great out of it.
What do you know?
And then the Flyers will be dumb enough to trade him away anyway. So
yeah, good point. We would be stupid enough to trade Owen Power away probably for, you know, a player that could fill out the defense. And like, why? We had all these other guys you could have traded for that player. Anyway,
I want Anaheim to get the number 1 overall in 2023. I want that Michkov kid from Russia. That kid's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah. And by the way, speaking of kids and Russians who've been ridiculous, Kaprizov, amazing play so far in the playoffs. First playoffs and no jitters whatsoever. It's like he's been there forever.
Yeah, man, he gets his first playoff point tonight. He set up that Hartman goal with a sweet pass. I've been saying it all season, man. Absolute magician with the puck.
Absolutely, he is. And you know what? That's a sign of a star. Is a kid, I mean, he's not necessarily really a kid anymore, but, you know, a 24-year-old player coming in, playing a poised game in the postseason says a lot about the type of player that he actually is.
Yeah, for sure. He does it. He contributes all facets of the game. You know, he's physical. He can throw a nice check on the boards. Good, strong on the puck. You know, can battle on the wing. Can even sub in, take that face off. You know, he's a good player.
For sure. Like
and
I said, he's going to be a star.
Prism saying if Buffalo trades Eichel for the number 1 pick, it will magically go to Buffalo for them to sacrifice another 7 to 8 years of another young player's career in desolation. Boy, that would be terrible for poor Owen Power.
Can we stop thinking about logic here, Priz? Like, come on, man. That would make too much sense.
Who knows? Maybe Buffalo will turn. Nah, I can't finish that. Anyway.
Again,
yeah.
Logic. Rational thought.
Yeah. Something that Buffalo hasn't had in a long time. Oh, big pass. Oh, boy, if there hadn't been 2 D-men there, boy, that would have been great.
That was a bad pass. They were playing the pass, too. He should have skated up a little bit and took a shot.
Yeah, good. They did have that double covered, so you don't want to. I mean, if you got one, it's even risky to do it there, but maybe you beat them.
Sometimes I think a lot of these guys, they're not necessarily reading the play. They already know what they want to do when they have the puck.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you got to be able to read the play as well.
True. You have to be able to make a good observant split-second decision. You know, you can't just be, thinking
like that play there with the drop pass. If you know he's back there, Foligno knew he was there, so he's going to drop it back, and it's a clean play. But if you got that 2-on-2, 3-on-2, odd man rush going, you gotta read the defenseman in that situation because I don't want to say 9 times out of 10, but most of the time the defenseman is probably going to play the cross ice pass.
Most likely. I mean, that's usually what the D-men are trained to do. Get in that passing lane, make sure that nothing can get by them. And sometimes they'll even sprawl out to just basically, if they feel like they can't get it with their stick, at least sprawl out so you can't make the pass, period.
No, for sure.
Which sometimes presents its own risk, too, if a player is patient enough and actually holds the puck and manages to wait and just has the player slide past them, then you've got a nice opportunity there for you. And the reason why we've seen plenty of examples of that when Flyers defensemen have attempted that and failed miserably at it. Of course, they attempted a lot and failed miserably at it all year. So,
the Flyers have also – go ahead, Rob.
It's the difference between rookies and veterans. You know what I mean? They're going to read the play and react, whereas the rookie's going to rely upon more of that muscle memory from practice. Okay, this is what I do from this situation. Kind of like the first time you're hitting the stage. You know what I mean for that play. You know what I mean. You're not gonna be able to improv too well because you're just worried about getting it right the first time.
Truth. Hopefully not, Ted. Hopefully we're not going to have another Boston championship.
Yeah, I don't think the world
I'm hoping
could
to have
take
one. I'm hoping to have a celebration in Raleigh.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to see Boston win another championship. It's bad enough we had to watch them win in 2011 and then watch 2 Pittsburgh championships after that. So, yeah.
Bad enough that I had to watch 2 LA and 3 Chicago.
Yeah, so we both suffered a lot both sides have suffered a lot here in the 2010s, to say the least.
Hurts my heart a little bit to think about.
Was there a championship that was won by anyone that didn't pester us? I don't even think there was. No, there was St. Louis in 2019, and then Tampa last year. Yeah, I could say that.
I mean, I was all right. I was all right with Washington winning. I wasn't really pestered by that.
True. Yeah, I didn't mind Washington winning either.
For Ovi, but as a Flyers fan, they definitely fit that bill of what you're saying, pestering. Even Tampa too. You know, you talk about even dating back to the '90s. You know, constant battler in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
no, sure.
True.
I think it's just more at the moment in time that Robbie that.
There we go. Tied up. Who got that one? Let's see.
Brownie.
Oh, okay then. There you go. So that one looked like it might have knuckled in a little bit. It might have fought.
Yeah.
A whole new game now.
Here, yeah, big time. Here in the second. That one rolling there.
The famous pass off the dasher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Talbot wants that one back.
Yeah, he definitely does because he gets it, but the problem is he doesn't get enough of it. It hits the top of his glove. He tries to reach back and get it, but it's way too late. That puck's already in the net.
At first glance, I thought it was more of a garbage goal, like hardworking, tipped it in there. But that's just an unfortunate bounce off the dasher, and then you guys 1-on-1 on the goaltender. Not much really Talbot could do. Kudos to him for even getting that glove on it.
No, absolutely. Like I said, he wants that one back. He should have had that one.
Yeah,
I don't think you could say he should have had that one though, Brian. I mean, he's right 1-on-1 right in front of the goaltender. I mean, he had the glove on it, so he's like, yeah, I get that he maybe wants it back, because he was right there to make the save. But that's not like a soft goal by any stretch of the imagination.
True.
Let's see here. Now I'm wondering what's going to happen here to end the second period because you've got Vegas now has just tied the game up. We saw what happened when they got within 1. So now it's Minnesota's job to really start to, kind of calm the play down again, if they can do that. But right now Vegas is pushing, trying to get the rush going here. I'm wondering if Minnesota will be up to task to try and shut it down because that's what they got to do. They got to get out of the second period with at least a tied game. Because if they give up another goal here, it's going to be a big, big issue for them in the third period.
Corey Perry's already putting out there that he wishes well to Jonathan Tavares.
So, all right then.
Nice. Stand up.
I mean, it was a completely unintentional play. Obviously, he's not going out there looking to knee anybody in the head.
No.
So
I don't think any hockey player would. Well, maybe Wilson would do that, but I don't. I don't necessarily think that anybody. I don't think Perry would do it. But see, Chrome, what's up, Chrome? Saying, hey, fellas, good evening to you, gentlemen. Good evening to you, sir. Hopefully, everything's going well for you. And he is saying, agree to the poll. I hate them both, but I agree. So. He's saying yes to the Boston-Washington series. And Benny's saying best case scenario is to have Winnipeg win it. Have Winnipeg win their first ever Stanley Cup. And let's see here. Prism saying, if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Mesothelioma is a rare cancer linked to asbestos exposure to cum fungus playing.
I was about to say, where the hell is he going with that?
It was a nice elaborate fuck you to cum fungus. But anyway,
Elaborate for sure.
let's see.
Nobody's even
Chrome's.
posting. Nobody even has even posted anything about the hit to Tavares. So I kind of want to see it.
They just scored. Oh, wow. Vegas just took the lead. Yep, there we go. Yep.
Riley
That's
Smith.
our Golden Knights. That's our Golden Knights for you. They do this shit all the time. Smith got that one. All right, there you go. Which Smith is this one, by the way? Because there's like 4 of them.
That's Riley.
Riley, thank you. All right, so 3-2 now. Let's see this shot here. Oh, it deflected, and then Talbot couldn't get it underneath his pads. Holden took the initial. Wow, that one went flying.
That was a big rebound.
Yeah, huge rebound, and Talbot just couldn't get it. Let's see. Chrome saying, nasty play with Tavares tonight. That's a play that could affect the rest of his career. It took me back to the Kasperitis hit in Lindros. Yeah, that's a good point right there.
It was nasty. I started to watch it. I couldn't finish watching it. Tavares couldn't even. I couldn't. It was bad. They tried to get him onto his knees. He couldn't stay up on his own power.
Yeah. I mean, we saw how. Go ahead, bro.
Even Corey Perry was saying like he felt sick to his stomach after watching the replay of it. Like, again, clearly not a dirty play, not an intentional knee, not something Corey was trying to do. Just very unfortunate. Wrong place at the wrong time for JT. Obviously, we hope that he's back on the ice sooner than later. Still a scary moment.
Absolutely. Let's see here. And Antimeo saying, do you guys miss the slower pace, more physical type playoffs that we saw pre-2004 lockout? Or do you like this type of playoff hockey? I actually like the pre-2004 better, miss the more physical type of playoffs. I miss the physical playoffs. I wish that we had a little bit more of a, I wish we had gotten a little bit more fast-paced physical style. We never really got it too much, which is a shame. We kind of had it a little bit, like after the lockout, because there was still enough of the physical type of play going on, and there was still enough of the defensive teams out there. So you saw fast-paced play that was mixing with physical play. So you would see guys going a million miles an hour and just put devastating hits onto people. So it's a shame that kind of faded away over time.
No, it did, and I miss it greatly. But for the betterment of the league and player safety, keeping guys healthier, things got to change. You know what I mean? And seeing it in baseball, certain rules, certain conditions with the mound, are considered to try to alter the game. You try to, curtail, the mass amount of strikeouts that are going on. So, I mean, at first I was a little resistant there, but change is good. You know what I mean? You got to go with the times and in getting back to hockey, if it's going to keep guys healthier and, avoiding concussions like, Tavares may have gotten tonight. I don't think might is the operative word, more than likely. Then it's got to change. But do I miss it? Great.
Yeah, I miss it too. I mean, depending on the series, you're going to get that physical series, depending on who's facing off against too. So you still get a little bit of taste of it, but it's still not the same.
Right.
And it looks like Vegas is going to get 150, a minute and 50 seconds of power play time on a fresh sheet of ice.
Yeah.
They almost didn't need it there. With 10 seconds to go, Talbot was looking behind him again. And, fortunate for Minnesota, it went wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And Prism saying Vegas scores one more time, then needs to sit on the puck. That's what he thinks Vegas should do. And then, Oh, they're going to give an update on the intermission on John Tavares. So hopefully it's a good one. And then Chrome saying, imagine a Randy Orton head punt with someone at full speed on the ice. Yeah, that was it. Poor guy. Yeah.
Yep.
That was bad.
I can't even. Like I said, I couldn't even finish watching the full video. The training staff tried to get him onto his knees, and he couldn't keep himself up. I want to sit there and usually I'll joke around and say he doesn't know where he is. I don't think Jonathan Tavares actually knew where he was. I do not think he was aware of anything going on around him. Everything that he did was all jello, like legs are jello, arms are jello. The good news is, though, as they were taking him off the ice on the stretcher, Corey Perry came over, gave him a tap, made sure he was going to be okay, and he gave the thumbs up on his way off the ice. So
that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he never lost feeling in his extremities. I read, another good sign there.
Yeah.
Yes, very, very good sign on that one. Prism saying, never score 5 goals in a period is going to be the new never go full retard. Oh, that's great. With good old Tampa losing that game tonight. Jet saying, let's go Penguins all the way. Islanders are the dirtiest team, plus the refs. Shaking my head. Well, I could say this much. Speaking from last year's experience, fuck the Islanders. But speaking also as a Flyers fan, I really hope the Penguins don't go all the way. But they could possibly if they keep this play up. Because they are playing really, really well, and it seems like no lead's safe with them. So
the one thing I am noticing, though, is a trend in the league where every fan base is starting to complain about the refs being against their team. So
true.
If the refs are against every team in the league, don't you think that could be an issue? I mean, every fan base is complaining that the refs are against them.
That's true.
How about, I mean, the Penguins won the game tonight, regardless of whatever is going on. You can't blame the refs for everything. You can't. It's a cop-out excuse for a loss. It really is. Like, say what you want, but it's a cop-out excuse for a loss. I'm tired of hearing people blame the refs, umpires, all this other stuff for losses, for wins, for whatever. Stop blaming the officials. Start pointing the finger at the players. The refs aren't the ones putting the goals in the net, giving up goals, giving up bad penalties.
He goes on to say the refs must be getting blown by home teams. I will admit, I actually said when the Bruins won that game against the Flyers for those calls late in the third and then the overtime, I actually said, like, what the hell happened? What, did the ref get blown by friggin' cum fungus in between periods? What the fuck happened? But I will admit, I did say that during this season. So
I'm tired of hearing people complain about the refs. Like, it's getting old. Every fan base complains about it. Every fan base has complaining that refs are always out to get them, out to get them, out to get them. Refs are doing their jobs. Are they going to make a bad call once in a while? Absolutely. They're not perfect. Being a referee in hockey is one of the hardest jobs in the world.
Well, I think being a ref for an ump period, it's hard.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not every call is going to be a good call.
Yeah,
They're making the calls based off of what they see at such a high speed.
Well, also I think also another issue too is the Tim Peel thing is probably going to, unfortunately, that will give some ammunition to a lot of people who want to blame the refs for a loss. Unfortunately, I think it's going to do that too, and it shouldn't, but I think it will.
Say what you want, and based off of what Tim Peel said, yeah, he may have wanted to call a penalty on the Predators, but he didn't. He may not have wanted to do his job the right way, but he did. He wanted to call a penalty on him, and he never did. So, again, thanks, Tom.
Good old Tom Arnone here, dropping $4.99, and thank you, Tom. We appreciate that. All right,
we love you, brother. We miss you guys. We miss coming to the studio.
Absolutely. Can't wait until we can start doing that again. Although that should start, happening soon again at some point, with everything slowly starting to calm down, but still. And thank you, Tom. And Jet saying, I see where you're coming from, but you got number 17 hit Jari with his stick, and somehow the Islanders are getting the power play, but I see what you mean.
I missed that. Okay. Yeah, and like I said, they're not going to gain every call. They're not going to get them all right, and that's a part of being human. But it's just kind of one of those things where it's just, so many people want to blame the refs on losses, and it's such a cop-out.
Prism saying, imagine the death threats on a daily basis.
I don't know if I could handle that.
They probably do get a lot of them.
Although I will say one of my favorite referees, though, is definitely, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks this, Jet, let me know what you think. Wes McCauley is the best official in the NHL.
I think most people consider him one of their more favorite officials in the NHL, really, at this time.
It's pretty awesome. Like, he's so much fun just making the calls. He's like so elaborate, and there's just so much emphasis behind his calls, but he really is one of the better referees in the league when it comes to making sure calls are right. And he just does it the right. He respects the game, and he respects the players, and he just does it the right way. That's why I love Wes McCauley so much.
Yeah, it's a solid ref.
But I see what Jet's saying. I'll have to go back and look at the play and judge it based off of that. But I'm not saying that, you in general are blaming the refs. I'm just making a generalization when I say I'm just tired of hearing these fan bases complain about the referees. The ref blew the game for us. The ref blew the game for us. No.
There's been some atrocious calls, though. There have been some atrocious calls this season.
No, for sure. And I even saying that, like I said, there have been bad calls. Of course, there's going to be. It's tough to make every right call at such a high speed. But to sit there and just blatantly say, we lost because of the refs. We lost 4-0 because of the refs.
Yeah,
no, you lost 4-0 because your offense didn't score any points.
Yeah.
But that's
you put yourself in position, you know what I mean? Like we saw with the Flyers all season long. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's the hit again. Oh, freaking if you're watching NBC Sports.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. He was not, they couldn't.
Oh,
it was, yeah.
But getting back to your point, man, I remember particularly this one game against the Bruins where a late call, and there were a lot of Flyers fans saying it cost us the game, but yeah, Scotty Lawton put himself in a poor position to even be considered for a call. So that's an example of, you can't blame the refs. You got to look in the mirror, win, lose, or draw. And, if you're not scoring, you get roasted 4-0, then, that you got, like I said, there's no one to blame but yourself.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And I agree. And I get what Jet's saying. Jet says, you'll find it wasn't a one-time thing. They were doing it through the game, and I'm not complaining that we got the win. And it's not always the ref's fault, but when they're putting their goons out on the ice. And I get what you're saying. I'm just generalizing.
Sure.
And we got
really Nick Foligno, Foligno really fought Corey Perry after that. That was a completely unintentional.
Yeah, but I mean, in the heat of the moment, sometimes your temper flares up there, and you think like, oh, that motherfucker, like he I'm not saying that Corey Perry's not that type of player. We know he's not, but in the heat of the moment, yeah, you're gonna. And by the way, Rob, you were
stupid.
What?
It wasn't an intentional hit.
I know. It's just when you're out there on the ice, tempers flare up, and I think that's what happened there. By the way, Rob, from what it was saying, you were right. 1979 between Montreal and Toronto for their last playoff meeting.
I got it right? Oh, man. Shit, man. Well, the sun shines on a dog ass some days, and apparently that day is today.
And apparently Toronto has not won a playoff series since 2004. So they definitely would like to get rid of that marker this year. And I have to, if it was 04, then the last team they had to have beaten was Ottawa. It had to have been Ottawa because it was always Ottawa when they won a series during that time period. But ironically enough, in 04, the team that ended that run was in the semifinals, and it was the Flyers. That's that famous one where Sammy Kapanen got absolutely devastated, and he couldn't get to the bench. He was trying to get back onto the play, and Primo literally had to hook him back to the bench so he wouldn't go and get himself killed. And then Roenick jumped on the play and scored on Ed Belfour. And what I find the funny part about that, too, is that Tony Amonte just double tapped it and put it in afterwards after Roenick had already scored. And JJ's thing is like, oh, Monty was just wanted to be sure that it was in there. Oh my god, that was great. Oh man, good times. Anyway,
Sorry, Corey Perry was doing his presser. I had to listen to it real quick.
I understand. What was he saying?
Essentially the same thing I just said. It was just unfortunate. He took a hit from Sherratt, and it just happened to he happened to just essentially fall into his path. And just after rewatching the play, that he got sick to his stomach, and that he's going to reach out to him, make sure he's okay, and all that other good stuff. So.
They part of the game, right?
It's one of the more unfortunate parts of the game. It really is. Like, I really hope JT doesn't miss any time, but he was awake, but he was not awake. He was.
Right.
He wasn't there. He was beyond rattled.
The lights were on, but nobody was home.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Benny's Nation saying Darcy Tucker gets lost in the Pantheon of dirty fucks. Darcy Tucker, yeah. He wasn't afraid of doing a little dirt every once in a while. Actually, every once in a while, he did it a lot. Come to think about it. Anyway.
Julio to the Seahawks, is that official, or is that what you're hoping for?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So if there's any confirmation on that, we'll let you guys know on that one. But what's going on, Mac Gone Ketchum? Let's see here. Prism saying Crosby is a punk. I don't care what happens to him, all-time talent or not. He's a bitch. And he's saying, just my personal feelings. Well,
I mean,
Jet,
a lot of people are looking for that.
Jet, I know he is your messiah, but to us, he is a bitch. We cannot stand his guts.
I like Jet's response to that. It didn't look like a bitch when he slammed the guy. I can't come up with his name right now. Game had me heated.
I will say, though, I did see Crosby doing that little grip there, showing a little bit of that feistiness. I got to admit, I saw that. I saw that on the packages. That's why I was shocked. And I really was 110% shocked by that.
If it was the scrum that I think it was Kyle Palmieri there, Jet.
All right, then. Speaking of that series, too, Kyle Palmieri definitely picking his game up there after having a bit of a lukewarm beginning to his Islanders career at the end of the season there. Gets the OT winner in Game 1 on a very little daylight shot on Jari, and now he's in the rhythm of things. So great news for Islanders fans. Kyle Palmieri starting to show that, getting his feet under him in the playoffs. But let's see here. While we've got the time, might as well, while the intermission's going on, tell you about a few of our other sponsors here. One of the other ones is for anybody out there struggling with any kind of mental health or addiction issues. We have the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. Again, the call 856-651-8117. If you or a loved one is going through any kind of those problems right now, call them, because we don't want to see you going through that, and we don't want to see your loved ones going through that, and you don't want those to become worse as time goes along. So don't wait on that. Other sponsors that we have, another one, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy. You can find him at www.specializedphysicaltherapy.com, and you can visit one of his facilities over in Cherry Hill or Burlington, New Jersey. Brian did. They did great things for his shoulder, and they're a great crew over there.
They really are. Great crew. Did a great job. If you need to go to Cherry Hill, make sure you try and get Carrie or Dr. Paul himself. Go to Burlington. Try and see if you can get Allie. Both girls are more than adequate to get the job done, and my shoulder feels better than it has in a very long time. Minus the sunburn, of course. That doesn't always help.
By the way, on your fishing trip,
here, check it out.
What?
The sunburn. I don't know if you can really tell.
I'll be honest, I can't really see it.
It's a good thing.
But
that means maybe it's not as bad as it feels.
Yeah. Did you catch anything on your fishing trip?
Nope.
No.
It's pretty early in the season. It's that awkward in between phase where all the winter fish are going out to sea and all the summer ones are coming into the bay and into the inlet.
Gotcha. But so while we still have some time talking about other stuff, I started playing Resident Evil 8, which is awesome, by the way. So if you are into gaming, or if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation 5, 4, or if you have an Xbox Series X or a 1, get Resident Evil 8. It's absolutely worth it.
Also, get a Twitch. Follow HUD Radio because we do have HUD Gaming. Doesn't go off every week, but every once in a while we do go off on HUD Gaming. And also, you hit the subscribe button, you get all the shows. You can watch and be a part of the show on Twitch as well.
Yep.
But I heard that Resident Evil 8 is actually really underwhelming based off of what Biohazard was.
I will say this. The one underwhelming thing that I feel is I hate the main character. I hate him. Like, I've never liked Ethan, ever. I think he is just a bland, generic character. You know, where it's like, okay, Chris may be a steroided up monster, but at least he's got some personality to him. And Leon may be some emo-haired, like, smart ass, but you know what? At least he's a badass, so you know what? I'll live with that. And Claire's awesome, and so is Jill. So there you go.
I'm starting from the beginning again, so I have them all. So I'm going to start back at Resident Evil 0 and work my way back to 8.
Oh, nice. So you're starting off with Rebecca, and nice, and Billy. All right. There you go.
All right, just in time for, I think, the third period to start.
All right, then. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. So third period getting started off with. First period time, 4 shots from the Knights in the first period. No goals, obviously. 7 for the Wild, and they got 2 there. And then in the second period, 22 shots for the Golden Knights, and they got 3 goals out of that. But, wow, that's just crazy to think about the disparaging between the periods. Second period was a very heavy period of shots.
Especially for Vegas.
Yeah. And right now on the power play, opportunity here for Vegas now to get more shots and also to possibly double their lead. And if they do, that's going to make it real hard for Minnesota, who have been sitting at 12 shots for a little while now.
Sega Saturn, Priz, you actually own that?
That, I will say, though, that is, I got to give Priz credit, though, because that is so rare to have a Sega Saturn and to have Resident Evil on the Sega Saturn, because that was so limited back then. Because Saturn was a flop because the PlayStation wound up killing it in like 5 days. And so when that happened, Resident Evil did come out for it, but, it kind of goes under the radar. I've seen like footage of it. I haven't played it, but it's interesting looking. It's a lot more grainier look to it than the PlayStation version. Although
I remember the Sega Dreamcast having some success, but everything after the Genesis, it just seems like Sega flopped on everything.
Well, the reason why, and it's kind of funny, they actually were trying to make the Genesis kind of like their main console, and then the Saturn was just going to be for players who want to be hardcore, and they still wanted to heavily promote the Genesis after that, which I don't know why. You want to focus on the next generation, but they didn't get that memo. So that fucked them up big time going into that generation.
Jet, I'm just curious, why are they not supposed to be good for about 10 years? Talking about Vegas. Vegas came in and they hired a really good owner. Not only do they have a really good ownership group, but they went out and got a really good GM and George McAfee, and they made a really, really smart decision when it came to the expansion draft. So they drafted draft picks, or traded for draft picks. They traded for players. They listened to offers for certain players to take certain players, if that makes sense. And they've been building a team since. They went out and acquired Mark Stone, Max Pacioretty, Petrangelo, a bunch of good players. They built a really good team, and they drafted very, very well. So, and they had a good coaching staff. It all goes hand in hand, man. If you could draft, I mean, Minnesota didn't draft well initially. Atlanta definitely didn't. They don't even exist anymore. Columbus is always, for the most part, a bottom of the barrel team.
It was for
and Nashville's just now, for the most part, starting to put it together. It's all about the front office you put together and the team you draft. And they just drafted very smart.
Also, I think too, the expansion this time around, because it was one team instead of two teams or three teams, I think they were a little bit better in terms of the opportunities available for players. Because when the NHL was originally expanding, they would bring two teams in at a time, sometimes three, and so it was a little bit harder to build a stronger team because you had other teams to compete with in that expansion draft. Now it's just you. So you don't have another expansion team, breathing down your neck like, boy, if we don't get that player, they might.
No, and I get it. And it kind of makes it a little bit better, but still, you don't necessarily know what you're getting when you draft these players or even pick them from another team. Nobody expected Shea Theodore to be as good as he is. They expect him to be a good player, but you go out and they're drafting well in the NHL draft, entry draft. They're making the right moves in the offseason. They're essentially becoming a place where players want to go and players want to be. And that attracts players like Alex Petrangelo. That attracts players like Paul Stastny, Max Pacioretty. You know what I mean? So they're doing good things in the front office. They have a very good front office, which is really what makes the team successful.
Real quick, guys, big update in this game. Wild gets an early power play here. Bad penalty by the Vegas Golden Knights, interference in the offensive zone.
Oh, boy. Big chance here for the Minnesota Wild if they can try and tie this game up. I mean, who knows what happens? You tie the game up early, you could conceivably win it if you can swing the period in your favor.
Damn, Priz, you literally have everything.
He said, wait, when did he sent a picture of his game room?
Yeah, he's got a 360. It looks like an Xbox One under that. NES, Sega Saturn, Atari. I think that's a Genesis. I don't know what that is. That looks like one of those Super Nintendo crossover systems. There's the Sega Saturn. I think I saw a PlayStation in there.
Okay.
Original Xbox. And something else at the top here. I don't know what that is. Maybe an original Atari. Damn, Praise, that's vintage.
No ColecoVision? For the record, I've never played that before. I'm not that old.
I mean, with some of the systems that it looks like in there, I wouldn't be surprised if he has it.
Oh, my God.
Jason, yeah, I guess, but look at other sports, NFL, such as Panthers. I'm also saying it because I'm not a fan of how a team can buy/steal really good pieces to a team like Fleury.
To be fair, though, I think the Penguins were more sold on Murray at that point, and that's why they left Fleury unprotected. Because I figured they had two really good goaltenders. They had already won 2 cups. They figured, okay, well, we can't keep both of them. Which one are we going to keep? We're going to keep the younger one. No offense to Fleury, but you keep
They
the
didn't
younger
call
one
that?
in that case. No, they did not.
I mean, to your point, Jed, like I get it, but I mean, hockey's a little different. I think there's not as many holes as you have to fill as say like the Carolina Panthers, and they've had some success in their existence. And you're not really necessarily stealing either. The point is to like, you protect certain players depending on where you are. Depending on where you are as your franchise, whether you're rebuilding team contender or whatever, what you have, you protect based off of that.
Oh boy! Oh,
And
Fleury
if
was
you
on his
can't,
ass.
certain situation like Marc-Andre Fleury, perfect situation. You had Matt Murray, who was coming off of 2 Stanley Cups. Tristan Jarry, who was a good young goaltender coming up and coming. Can't necessarily say, you don't know what's going to happen. So you're going to ride out the 2 younger guys, Marc-Andre Fleury, who you're not expecting to be playing as long as he has. You go with the younger guys. Kind of go from there.
I just make these points because I'm a salty bastard. I mean, honestly, Jed, I wouldn't be if I was a Pens fan.
I like that.
Yeah.
You need to tune in more.
Yeah, definitely. You are more than welcome to be here, brother. But it's funny though because it's like Jed. Honestly, dude, though, I wouldn't be salty, dude. I mean, you guys won 2 cups in a row. You were the first team to do it since the Red Wings did it in the '90s. On top of it, as well, your team is still a very dangerous team moving forward. I mean, it's not like your team isn't about to collapse. Your team still has a lot going for it. So it's. I wouldn't be, honestly. I there's really nothing to be salty about, at least on a Penguins side of things. There's a lot to be salty about if you're a Flyers fan like me. There's definitely there's a lot of salt to go around there. Sodium levels are very, very high here in Philadelphia.
And on top of it, you picked the perfect time to bring in Ron Hextall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pick up the GM that we should not have fired, but oh well.
I mean, Chuck Fletcher's these jury's still out on whether or not he was a good pickup or not. He needs a full season.
Yeah.
He needs a full season.
I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna pass judgment on him yet. We'll see what the offseason, he's got a real big chance here in the offseason to show a lot. You know what I mean? So, but and let's see here. And Jet saying, this is my first or second NHL stream. I come in for NFL and NBA, but I didn't know y'all did NHL. One weird guy. I took off after my dad, Eagles, Phillies, Mavericks, Penguins. That is interesting. So Eagles, Phillies, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
At least it's not the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I see what you did there.
There's a Philly-Dallas connection now. I'm telling you.
There is. Hey, listen, Jet, you're always more than welcome here, brother. I mean, I'm kind of out there. I'm 3 out of 4. I can't stand the NBA anymore. Phillies, Eagles, Ducks. So talk about being out there.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't really follow the other sports. It's just hockey for me. I like baseball, and I do cheer for the Phillies because my whole family's Philadelphia fans, including the family here at A2 Day for the most part. And it's, but hockey's my sport, and so I'm just a Flyers fan, and I like the Sharks on the other side, but, unfortunately, yeah. Anyway.
Matty, no front runner in Matty's blood.
No, that's definitely for sure, because you have to actually like the Sharks and you have to definitely love the Flyers to be a fan of either organization at this current juncture.
Like, for example, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Matty was happy, and he was like, good for the area, good for fellow guys at the studio, the fan base, but he didn't take it like it was a championship for him. Like, he doesn't front like that. I'm gonna defend my man over here. Not that he needed defending, but you know what I'm saying.
I appreciate that, brother. But yeah, and Rob, you got your fandoms, man. You know, you got the Flyers, obviously.
And then he goes downhill from there.
That's funny. No, I'm
Man,
all about the Wells Fargo, baby. Flyers and Sixers. But I grew up going to Mets games with my dad. You know what I mean? They were actually the first team. I followed the Mets even before the Flyers. You know how passionate of a Flyers fan I am. For me, it's really the Flyers and the Mets. Baseball and hockey. It's what I've played. It's what I watch. It's what I'm most passionate about. Football is like some family related, both like for rivalries as well as camaraderie with the brother. But you know, you guys know that, you know, like I'll follow a lot of teams. Whoever's on my fantasy team is who I follow. Quite frankly, in football, you know what I mean. But it is weird. The weirdest thing is the Flyers and Mets. That's what I've got. It's like how can you like a New York team and a Philadelphia team or whatnot? And you know, it's a lot of poor decisions. I made a lot of poor decisions in my youth. But I'm loyal. I'm loyal to a fault. And once I'm following you, you got me for life. Maybe I'm the real cum fungus. Who knows?
No, you don't lick people's noses. I think you're good.
Yeah. You got to do a lot of things before.
You don't know what I do in the bedroom, Brian. Come on now.
Listen, all is fair game and love and love.
No, I'm more about the toes. I'm just playing. That's another reference to Master and None. This one girl's Instagram handle was nipples and toes 23, and Aziz Ansari says the greatest line. He goes, "I didn't realize there was 22 other nipples and toes." To where you had to be nipples and toes 23.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's fucking great.
Feet gross me out.
See, this is why you watch the show. It's not for the hockey talk. It's for this stuff.
I'm eager. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the playoffs. Love watching the playoffs, which they last forever. But one thing I'm looking forward to in the off season is us doing that movie game. That's what I came for.
I actually can't wait to start talking draft.
True, that's it.
That'll definitely be there when we get to the end of the playoffs, and then obviously the expansion draft and the entry draft. So yeah, and it'll be interesting to see. We already know who the first ever Seattle Kraken is. Congratulations to John Newman, I believe it is the official first Kraken.
Some guy who's never going to wear a Kraken jersey.
But he'll always be an answer to a trivia question. It's like, who was the first
no
ever
one's going to ever know the answer to.
Yeah.
He just signed 2 weeks ago, and I don't know his name already.
I almost forgot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you pulled that out of your arse, for sure.
I did.
I like it.
Oh,
I like it.
What did you say his name was? I'm looking it up now.
I think it's John Newman, I believe is his name. And I could be wrong on the first name, but I do believe it is Newman is the last
Hello,
name.
Newman.
Hello, Jerry.
No,
it's more like, hello, Jerry.
He's one of the most underrated characters in all of TV sitcom.
Oh, for sure, man. William Knight. He's classic.
Did you, Rob, you watched Third Rock from the Sun, right?
See.
He was such an underrated character in that, too.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's been a ton of stuff, dude. A lot more.
Luke Henman.
Oh, it's Luke Henman. Oh, okay. So I had the men part right. See?
That's probably about it. You got the MAN at the end.
But you know what? At the end of the day, though, are you really surprised that, I mean, like we said, I barely even, I forgot his name. Bri forgot his name. Everybody forgot his name already.
Like, I hate to say it, but he's a nobody. He's never going to wear a Kraken jersey, and if he does...
Brian goes, Maddie, you got the most obvious part of it right. You got that he's a man.
At least I can tell that. I mean, at least.
Good call. Hey, dude, I do like that. You didn't hear me helping me out there. Yeah. So,
That's because Rob didn't want to embarrass himself on the air on that one.
when has that ever stopped me before? Come on now.
Never.
Never. Correct. What is never?
Benny wants to know who we think the Kraken take from the Flyers.
Well, I'm still. I don't know. They might take JVR if they leave him unprotected, only because JVR had a pretty good year. But I'm still thinking it's Ghost, to be completely honest with you.
It's going to be Ghost. I think who I want it to be is Jake Voracek, but it's going to be Ghost.
I mean, you could always wind up seeing a draft pick move in order to, or another player move for them to take, say, a Jake Voracek or a JVR. For me, it's going to. I can't answer the question yet. It's going to be determined by where they are in the expansion draft when the Flyers come up. So if it's earlier on, I can see them going after a guy like a Jake Voracek. Maybe if they're a little more than middle rounds, maybe a JVR. Later rounds, I think they go after like a Shane Gostisbehere. Benny thinks Knack. That could be a possibility.
Yeah, Benny is saying Knack. Prison wants to know who the DJ is. Some of the stuff is hypersensitive. What do you mean by that, Priz? I'm not sure what you mean.
Where's my DJ? Oh, where's my DJ?
That might be a quote, because I know the character Arnold in Master and None DJ'd, so maybe he's throwing a quote from that. Maybe
I'm not sure because I guess I'm gonna get thrown to the box. I don't know, but anyway,
everybody's going in the box. It's like that game against Ottawa.
Yeah,
everybody's in the box.
Everybody, including the goalies.
Third Rock from the Sun Praise is one of the most underrated. Like, I never realized how funny that show was when I was growing up. I thought it was kind of dumb. And I started rewatching it because it's on IFC just about every morning when I get up for the gym. So I'll watch an episode or two. And it really is one of the funniest shows I think I've ever seen in my life.
The start of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, French Stewart, John Lithgow, who's such an underappreciated actor for what he does.
For sure.
And just his role in the show. He was an absolute lunatic, and it was great. He was absolutely perfect for that.
Yeah, and what's odd is before he got that role, his main thing was being that uber villain in movies. Like he was in that movie Ricochet with Denzel Washington.
He was
real evil and downright, and that's sort of what he was characterized. And he made this shift to comedy. And he was, people were questioning the casting call because he had done Broadway and he was very theatric. And like I said, with the villains thing, and he came out and one of the funniest guys of all time. And I always thought it was a good call because you remember Harry and the Hendersons?
Oh yeah,
he was the father in that, and I would describe that as a comedy.
Yeah, it was definitely a comedy. It was a family-friendly comedy.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that was definitely an underappreciated show. I'm with you on that.
And the Golden Knights only 4 seasons. The Golden Knights currently, I believe, Third Rock from the Sun is what he was saying.
6 seasons.
But Vegas Golden Knights currently have a power play going on right now.
And a stranglehold. The Minnesota Wild has had 2 shots since about this time in the second period, and that includes only 1 on that earlier power play that they had in this third period. As much as Vegas's offense has gotten them obviously to the lead, it's their defense that kept them in this game, and has really just put a clamp down on this Minnesota Wild, this young Minnesota Wild team.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since that they started that little push at the end of the second period where they wound up getting 3 goals, it's been Vegas's game.
Yep.
Minnesota's had a tough time maintaining any kind of pressure on the offensive side of the puck. Vegas is spending most of their time in the Minnesota zone. This is win games.
This is what can happen to a young team You know, when you kind of get a little frazzled a little bit, and I think that's what happened in that second period. Because after Vegas scored that first goal, that was it. It was boom, 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 and Minnesota could not shut it down at all. Vegas was absolutely killing them there. This third period, it's been a little bit more tamed on that part, but it's still been a very strong period for Vegas. It's been a rough go of it for Minnesota. They can't seem to get anything going.
I mean, one of the good things about Minnesota is they're a little bit faster team than Vegas is. So they have that aspect of the game over them.
Right.
But when Vegas is doing such a good job, like right now, where they're playing keep away, and they won't allow Minnesota to get to the puck. Speed does nothing.
Yeah,
Speed does nothing compared to puck possession.
absolutely. Absolutely. And if you could play a strong enough possession game, my God, what in the hell is going on over there? Literally, it was like somebody was about to rip somebody's head off over there on the sideboards.
When you're getting contained, speed doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. It locks speed down. And I think they're going to build off of this win. I mean, obviously they're going to build off the win. It's Vegas, and they're up 2-1, but you know, it's a huge building block. You're figuring out ways to beat a team that constantly beat you during the regular season.
Well, let me ask you this, boys. What does Minnesota got to do right now with roughly 6:45 left in the third to tie this game up?
They have to have strong possession, and they have to get their offense going and make it so that they can penetrate deep into the Vegas zone, get sustained pressure on Fleury, and really make Fleury, you know, stressed out where he's got to make crazy elaborate saves, you know, and really put pressure on the Vegas defense to try and get the puck away from them. Right now, you're not seeing that at all. It's very easy for Vegas to get that puck and keep it away from them, like Brian was saying a few moments ago.
Yeah, I think they need to get some good chances and get some momentum to go their way. And one of the best ways to do that is just get a couple scoring chances. Give yourself some good opportunities with the puck and be smart with it. And I think things will fall into place for Minnesota. But as long as they keep playing in their own zone, this game's going to belong to Vegas. But they got to get some scoring chances.
Yeah, and right now we're about to be hitting 6 minutes in about 18 seconds. So it's like the time is running out. I mean, luckily it's a 1-goal game. If Minnesota can manage to get on the horse and really make a run in these last 5 here, then maybe they can tie the game up if they can get a big turnover possibly or force one, you know, and Vegas doesn't get another goal here, then they have a chance to at least tie the game up and then push it to overtime, and then you take your chances. But that's best case scenario for them right now, because I don't think you can take the lead playing this way. Right now, I don't think any team – I mean, Vegas can double their lead, but I don't know if Minnesota could get 2 quick goals with the way they're playing right now.
Well, what you're going to start seeing is what you're starting to see right now, where the defense is pinching in a little bit more, trying to create those scoring chances that you spoke of. And yeah, I mean, really right now, I think the best way to break that containment is that strong outlet pass, you know, try to cherry pick on a play. You know what I mean? It's not the best fundamental hockey, but I think that's how you could tie it.
No, for sure, especially when you have KK out on the ice right now. It's probably your best bet as to getting a good opportunity for that. Fast, obviously, he's a very skilled player.
Right.
So, I mean, you're going to have to get creative here because, like you said, they're going to pinch a little bit more. They're going to take a lot more chances.
Right.
And they're going to press Vegas. So it's going to be up to Vegas defense to keep pushing Minnesota to the outside and not allow any really prime opportunities, especially in the slot.
Yeah,
any
absolutely.
kind of really good scoring opportunity.
Yeah. Jet, the score currently is 3-2 Vegas still. They've been shutting down Minnesota's opportunities, and at the same time, Vegas has had a lot of good chances, but so far, Minnesota's been able to at least hold defensively. Let's see. Prism saying Wild has 14 shots with 5-6 minutes to go. Vegas has 36. So, yeah, that's a massive disparity, too, because you think about the last 2 games, they were a lot closer in shots. So that's pretty crazy. Would you consider that alarming? Or would you just say that just
No.
it's just a game?
No, I mean, I've never always been a fan of the quantity of shots. I've always been more of a fan of the quality of shots.
My man.
So if they have 14 shots throughout the entire game and they have 4 goals off it, great. That's really good. Versus 36 shots on net and they walk away with 4 goals. So, I mean, obviously, if you're scoring 4 goals on 14 shots, you're getting better shot quality. And the one thing that Vegas has done really well, especially over the last period or so, is getting bodies in the lanes and not really being able to give up that. They're definitely not giving up that cross ice pass anymore. So that's something Minnesota's going to have to adjust to. And just they got bodies in front. So it's up to Minnesota now to get other guys in front of the net, push some of the Vegas guys out of the way, maybe hope for a deflection, rebound, something along those lines to create some scoring opportunities because I don't think they're going to score any other way at the moment.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, let's see here. So right now Minnesota trying to hit the reset button here. They're having a hard time there trying to get that through the neutral zone, but it looks like they finally got something. Possibly. No, they just lost the puck.
Well, I mean, Peter DeBoer, with his system, that is an addition. We wondered why Vegas would, fire Gallant and go with DeBoer. Well, his systems really, have been known to clog up that neutral zone, and that can be very good playoff winning hockey.
True.
No, for sure. And that's actually what Benny just said. So Benny's Nation is with you there.
Oh, right on.
But I mean, even to your point, Rob, about DeBoer, Gallant's system, they had success too. So that's kind of where I'm still confused because you didn't necessarily make an upgrade. I see it still as a lateral move. You're obviously not getting any worse. You didn't really get any better. You're still on that same line. To me, they're still on that same plateau that they were with Gerard Gallant.
Right. I agree. Yeah, no, I can see your way. I can see your point.
I mean, maybe you're right, Rob, and the reason why they brought him in was for the defensive purposes, standing guys up at the blue line and clogging up the neutral zone a little bit more.
Yeah, Jet saying, not scared of the Bruins, but I'm hoping the Caps can get the win because I know we got their number when it comes to big playoff series. I'm wondering, here's my thing, though. I'm wondering if that'll change only because the last time the two teams met, Washington won. So I'm wondering if maybe that broke it. I'm very interested to see how that would go. I am curious. I
think I actually have that as my next round for – no, I have Boston. I have Boston and Pittsburgh.
That's another good rivalry, though.
The Bruins, I don't think you should be afraid of. They're a very good team. There's no denying that. That power play is scary with the perfection line.
Yeah.
I think that series would come down to goaltending. I mean, Tristan Jarry's been okay. He's been playing decent. But you got Tuukka Rask, who's been giving up some goals as well. So if the Penguins can hold up, their goaltending can hold up, I actually think Pittsburgh could wind up beating Boston. Actually, I think I actually have Pittsburgh beating Boston.
Interesting.
To get to the conference finals. I think I have Pittsburgh representing their division, I think.
All right, then. So you have Pittsburgh winning the East bracket and moving on to the semis. Let's see. It'll be interesting the way the series plays out. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. 2-on-1. Here we go. Big chance for Vegas, and there we go. That should put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
All right. So 4-2. Yep.
Dag dabbit, there goes my. Well, I mean, they're still in the series, down 2-1, but. This was my wild card. This was my underdog pick for the first round. Total homerism going on. Oh, here's my bracket. Yeah, I got Pitt and Boston in the East Finals too, and I have Pitt beating Boston as well, despite my logo.
Well, yeah, so
I'm pulling mine
Wild
up
Bill
in a second.
I'm
Carlson
with you.
so it's Wild Bill. He strikes again, getting that one to go. So 4-2. Vegas now should pretty much have this one done. Jet Vegas scored. Let's go. Got free $27.
Gotta love that in-game betting, man. Love it.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
Can't be mad at that. He's walking away with $27 you didn't have earlier.
Yeah, Fleury just got knocked down on his. But Fleury has just been getting knocked the fuck down all over the place in this freaking series.
How did
But
that
anyway.
not go in? The puck was right on the doorstep.
Wow! Yeah, Rob, you must have been a little ahead of us because I just saw that it wound up right on the post. Holy shit! Wow, Minnesota almost made it a 1-goal game again at the end of the third.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had Boston going to the conference finals. Really?
Oh, it's Pietrangelo diving in to swat it out.
Whoa!
Wow. At first, you know what I thought it was? I thought it was the loose stick that was in the net that made the save, but it was Pietrangelo. That's why you went out and got him.
The puck was literally on the line. It was perfectly on the line. You couldn't get any closer to a goal if you tried. Good God.
So I got Pittsburgh winning in 6, which I think is very doable for the Penguins. I got Boston winning in 6, which they're on pace to do. Carolina winning in 5. Florida winning in 7, which is on pace. Colorado in 6.
Jet, don't make me shit myself with this game now. I'm not watching. I turned it off.
Comment of the night right there.
Absolutely. I got Vegas in 7, Edmonton in 6, Toronto in 5. Is it weird that we're guaranteed a Canadian team in the conference finals?
I guess it is kind of weird there. Ooh. That one.
Yeah, that as we pointed out last show, that's one of the detriments to this playoff setup, unavoidably, based on, current situations, but easier pass and guaranteed for Canadian team. But that's good for the NHL too. But otherwise, I'm almost liking this setup where you have to come out of your division to face the other divisions, like in that. So I like it better than currently like the playoff setup in terms of the top 3 and then wild cards, in the Metro and Atlantic. I never really cared for that.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I like how the setup is. I wasn't sure how I was going to like it at first, but like I was saying earlier in the show, going back to last week, I think this actually wound up being so far a very, very entertaining playoff.
This is interesting. Are they looking at this play right now that just happened? Yeah, they are. They're looking at the play with Fleury making the save on his back, and he winds up kind of going into the net, and so they're not sure if the puck crossed the line, but it's very hard to tell because it's in his equipment.
Right.
So, right. I mean, see, it has to be conclusive evidence. I don't know if you could call that a goal. In all honesty, because it's not like you can really see the puck.
It's tough with those. Usually you see those with where he makes the glove hand save and the glove's beyond the line. So you kind of verify it there. And that if the puck got tucked into like a fold of his jersey and you don't know like where his body is in relation to the goal line there, yeah, you can't call that a good goal.
Yeah.
And they did, which is probably a smart thing. I think they just wanted to make sure they made the right call.
Right.
Yeah. So, boy, the never a dull moment in the playoffs, even when it looks like the game's over.
That's the way it should be, though.
That is true. And Minnesota here at the point, trying to at least get a goal here. But, I mean, even in a losing effort, and there we go, empty netter.
That's it.
That's it. Yep, that's definitely it now. So empty netter there, 5-2 now. Who got the empty netter here for them? Is it Stone again? Yeah, it looks like it's
Stoner.
Stone. All right, so the Cat gets himself 2 goals tonight, and he
Damn.
finishes it up. So there you go.
Mark Stone doing his best Undertaker to the Wild's AJ Styles.
Yep.
In the boneyard. Anyway, Jet saying I'm not watching, but the $27 is saying it's a save.
It was.
Oh, they just showed another angle. You'll
Wait.
see it in a second.
Oh, I can't see the puck. I
It
couldn't
was
see
along
the
the post.
It was along the post, but it was over the line, though.
They may have gotten away with one there.
Yeah.
But that's the problem is that it's got to be conclusive, and if you can't get that conclusive
true.
evidence, you can't call it. That's the problem. You got to have that conclusive evidence.
That zoomed in shot kind of had me, though. I think it was. I think this is definitely going to be a topic of discussion between games 3 and 4 now.
I'm surprised they didn't show the goal cam inside the goal. I'm surprised they didn't show that, or was that was the goal cam? Never mind.
That was. Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. My bad.
It's all
But I
good.
mean, they gotta make the call based off the video that they have. They don't get every single video right away,
Yeah.
and there's a lot that they can't show until after the play is obviously concluded.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be as much of a controversy as that no goal called in that Flames game in the 2004 Stanley Cup Final. But
the way this game was playing out, though, even that would be a huge momentum boost, and you can't say for sure what would happen. Being why it would make it a 4-3, a 1-goal game again. But the way that was playing out, they were clamping down already, and they get the empty netter anyway. And you got to figure they're going to have the goalie pulled, so. It's either 5-3 or 5-2. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But
Jet, you can rest easy, son. That $27 is yours because the Vegas Golden Knights have officially won the game. They now take a 2-1 lead in the series, and they will be prepared to face the Minnesota Wild in a couple of days to see if they can try and take a commanding 3-1 lead. The 3 stars of the game, Riley Smith, who got a goal and an assist. Nick Holden had 2 assists. He's number 2. And Mark Stone has 2 goals. Actually, I did that backwards. Riley was number 3. Holden was 2. 1 is Stone. But anyway, so there we go. 5-2 your final score. The Vegas Golden Knights up 2-1 in the series. Big win for them. They lost game 1. They rebounded in game 2. And now they win the first game in Minnesota. But, hey, the Wild really don't have anything to be ashamed of here. They scored literally just seconds or 2 minutes into the game, and then they made it 2-0. It's just that one period, that second period, they fell apart there because they let in that first goal, and that's when they lost the game in that period. If they can avoid that happening in the next game, there's a chance that if they can get an early lead and they can hold it, maybe they can tie this series up. It's possible. I just think that one period in the second killed them in this particular game.
Yeah, second period definitely killed them. Up until like that last few minutes, 5 minutes or so, Vegas is really holding the pressure in the Minnesota zone, and you can't get any sustained offense when you're playing on the defensive side of the puck.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, I think it's good for the Wild's esteem to where they're not out of the series, but. Right now, Vegas Golden Knights are in the driver's seat, out shooting Wild 40-16. They're showing their experience, you know what I mean? And now we got to see what kind of answer the Wild have back.
Yep, we're definitely going to find out in game 4. And Wild, they're going to have to respond. Otherwise, Vegas could have a chokehold on the series.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. The Jets saying Wild are solid, but their defense is suspect to an extent. I think that.
No, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it's a team that I feel like, we weren't really sure what the Wild were going to be going into the season, and they surprised everybody by doing what they did. And now you're kind of seeing a team that's in the playoffs, and they're going up against a team that has a lot of playoff experience. Not to say that the Wild, they were in the playoffs last year, but they got eliminated in qualifiers by Vancouver. So now you're facing one of the top teams in the Western Conference, and now it's kind of like, oh boy, it's a very tough draw for the Minnesota Wild. Not to say that the Wild, they've had their number during the regular season, and it carried over into the playoffs a little bit, but it seems like Vegas is shaking that off a little bit. It seems like they're slightly shaking that off here by taking this 2-1 lead. We'll see if they have by Game 4. If the Wild can still kind of, turn the knob a little bit and get the pressure up on Vegas and really frustrate them again, the Wild should be able to tie the series up. But if Vegas has kind of figured out what they got to do to shut down the Wild and, kind of get going here after that second period and moving forward, then Vegas might be able to take that stranglehold and possibly end the series.
Yep.
So that will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. We'd like to thank everybody who chimed in tonight. As always, we had Prism, we have Jet, who is new. So we thank him for chiming in as well. Benny's Nation, of course. And, of course, Don, everybody. Eileen was here. We love you guys. And if you guys want to continue supporting A2D Radio as well as support this show and all the other shows, where can they go, Bri, to do that?
Head on over to phillydrinkers.com. That's where you can get all your A2D merch there, all kinds of great stuff. Hoodies, hats, mugs, stickers, specific show shirts. You can get all your Hockey Happy Hour stuff there. That's phillydrinkers.com. That's Philly Drinkers LLC, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. And as well, we are brought to you by Specialized Physical Therapy we talked about. We also are sponsored by Sunrise Detox and Counseling Center, but we are also brought to you by eXp Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, or you're looking for a changing career or a brokerage, contact Alan Foy at eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820, or visit him at alan.foy at exprealty.com. Another sponsor that we have as well is All Campus OC, who did get affected by the fire down in Ocean City. However, though, from the update we got from Mr. Daly last week, some good news. It looks like they were back to being up and running. So we thank everybody for the support there who were on the GoFundMe. So thank you for your contributions on that. And also thank you for the thoughts and prayers as well. So go check out allcampusoc.com and get yourself some cool gear there. And final sponsor here as well is, of course, Body Check Wellness. Line of products using hemp. They also have THC free as well. And it's topicals, gummies, ointments, and created by Riley Cote, former Philadelphia Flyers enforcer. And, of course, he has his podcast going on as well. And
you could check them out.
Yep, absolutely. And we've had great shows with Riley. And I believe we also had did we have the other host on?
No,
we didn't. Oh, okay. Sorry. What was the other podcast we had on? I forgot. Sorry. We've had guests on, and I'm blanking right now.
I remember what you're thinking of when Riley came on with Todd Harriman's.
Yes.
Yeah. We had him. Yeah, we had him on. That was actually that was an independent interview series that was outside of the show, but yeah, that was actually our first meeting with Body Check Wellness, and I believe Harriman's is correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. I think a key member in the organization as well.
You would probably know better than me. I think he is, but I'm not 100% sure.
Gotcha.
All right then. So cool. And by the way, the A2D code that you see down there at the bottom, yes, you can get 20% off your order tonight, and you can use that as well any other time that you wish to check out their products and purchase. You can use that there. And when Riley Cote is on with us, you can get 40% off the THC free box that they have available. And it's $140 worth of savings, and it's got some great products. And you can get yourself started with a nice little discount on top of that if you use A2D. So there we go, folks. We thank you for joining us for another edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. And we just want to say thank you to everyone who's been supporting us, and we can't wait to keep going here with the playoffs. It's very, very exciting, very, very awesome to see, and nothing but great moments still to come. So we'll see you guys next week right here on A2DRadio.com. We'll see if any eliminations have happened by then, and we'll see if the second round's gotten going yet. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But for all of us, I'm Matt Sasuti, Rob Povia, the broken one himself. I almost called him the dark one.
He's not him. That's not him.
Nope, that's you. The Darkwing, Brian Daly.
Mm-hmm.
I've done this how many times? Do you think I would have it down by now?
You may have been confused by my excellent gift choice to Priz's tweet earlier tonight. Go check that out on the Twitter.
I'm gonna have to check that out for sure.
So we thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week right here on ATD.com, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy. Until the mask is officially lifted, wear your mask when you go to restaurants and to stores. It's almost over, guys. We're almost there. Just keep with it, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace and love, everyone.